Yo, I'm Bob. Totally blind since birth into Star Wars, talking about Season 2, Episode 3 of The Bad Batch on Disney+. Plus. This one's The Solitary Clone, 19th episode of the show overall. Spoilers ahead, watch it before listening to my thoughts, jumping right in, and you were warned. Right out of the gate, I gotta say this episode is my absolute favorite from Bad Batch so far. That'll probably change as time goes by and more episodes drop. But give me an episode in which we get to see events through the eyes of a soldier for the Empire. And I'm glued to that screen from start to finish. That's not to say that I dislike the other episodes, but this one right here just had such a dark, gritty feel to it. And I was not expecting this. I thought we might be seeing more of Crosshair in this episode, but I was, kind of thinking we might be seeing our main protagonist too. Bad Batch, not in this episode. This is basically a day in the life for Crosshair here, a soldier for the Empire, as he says. And I have seen this thing about 7 times so far. I think it's been about 3 days since the episode's aired. I just keep watching it because there are things that I keep picking up on. I love the action scenes in it. Awesome to witness the return of Commander Cody as well. I've been keeping up with this clone since he first appeared in the Legends novel Labyrinth of Evil way back in 2005. January 25th of 2005 was when this novel was published. I remember buying the abridged audiobook on CD because we didn't have Audible back then. At least I don't think we did. And it was narrated by Jonathan Davis. I wore the heck out of the CDs. In that book, of course, we get to meet Commander Cody for the first time. And I've been keeping up with this clone ever since. I've been wanting to know what's been going on with him post Order 66 since Revenge of the Sith came and went in theaters. And I absolutely loved the episode, especially the scenes involving Cody. So your basic plot is Crosshair's got to go to a planet called Desix. There is a separatist holdout there. They have captured the new Imperial governor. His name's Groton. The separatist governor is Tawny Ames. She's voiced by Tasia Valenza. Love her as Shakti and Poison Ivy in Injustice 2 and the Arkham games as well. So awesome that she's back voicing a character in Star Wars. So yeah, Crosshair gets to meet up with Cody. They all, get in the Imperial shuttle with their squad, and off they go to Desix. The whole action scene when we get to Desix, it feels like, of course, an episode of the Clone Wars, but I also thought of the Battlefront games. It really did have this video game feel to it because you've got the clones. They're having to infiltrate the Citadel. They're having to make their way to the top of the Citadel there to take out a tactical droid, expertly voiced by Shelby Young. Really enjoy having her doing anything in Star Wars. So, some favorite scenes from the action bit. I loved where Crosshair sniped a armored assault tank cannon. He just fired his rifle right down the barrel and blew the whole freaking tank up. That was such an awesome scene. Wouldn't have known what was going on if Disney Plus hadn't provided audio description tracks. So these really helped me out. Let's see here. I think Tawny Ames is a really interesting character. I like that she wore a mask off and on. She really sounded a lot like Bosch or Boosh or however you want to pronounce the name of the bounty hunter Leia was disguised as. Really made me think of Bosch or Boosh or Bausch. One of the things I noticed, and a really sad thing, is that Ames thought Dooku was trying to prevent the rise of the Empire, but unless I'm missing something, Dooku knew that the Empire was coming, and these poor dupes, they all thought he was fighting for them. And, it was that one bit where Ames was talking to Governor Groton after she'd captured him about how Dooku knew about the rise of the Empire, and it was all about trying to stop it. And, it's like the whole heroes on both sides thing, way back from the Pursuit of Peace arc, in which we actually got to see that separatist treaty being proposed. But of course, Palpatine shot it down. And I love that Mina Bonteri was mentioned in the episode. Really makes me want to go back and rewatch that arc again. It's actually become a favorite of mine over the years from the Clone Wars. More action scenes that stood out to me in this episode. Man, I really enjoyed seeing the droidekas rolling up again in this episode as the clones were making their way to the top of the Citadel. It really did have a video game feel to it. Then you got to see the commando droids jumping out of the shadows there as the clones near the top. That one poor clone, I think his name was Nova, he got blown up by his own grenades. At least I think he didn't make it. And then, of course, you've got that really sad scene there at the end when they do make it to the top. Cody does his best to be a negotiator, like Obi-Wan used to be. I guess Cody learned a lot from Obi-Wan. And he mentions that, nobody else needs to die. I know you guys want to be independent from the Empire. Let's see if we can't work something out. So, you have Ames releasing the sleazy Governor Groton, and right away he's like, "Oh, you've got to execute her." He sounds like a weaselly, pencil neck coward of an Imperial, and Cody's just not wanting to do it. So, of course, Crosshair, being Crosshair, he follows orders like a good soldier, and the woman dies right there. And I was expecting that, but at the same time, it's like, I really don't know if there is any redemption to be had for Crosshair. I would hope so. I would like to see him back with the Bad Batch. We're probably going to get it. I think that's what they're planting the seeds for him to do. Because you've got that scene toward the end of the episode when they get back to Coruscant there. And Cody's like, what makes us so different from the battle droids? We make our own decisions, our own choices, and we have to live with them too. And, of course, at the end of the episode, you have Crosshair going into Rampart's office yet again. And he's being told that he needs to report to a new clone commander because Cody has gone AWOL. There was that one scene in the beginning of the episode where we started to hear rumblings of clones going AWOL and disappearing. So, yeah, Cody's gone. Maybe we'll see him again. I'd like to think we will. I forgot to mention Rampart in this episode. We didn't get to see him having to deal with the consequences of what he'd pulled in the last episode, but arrogant as he is, he's probably trying not to think about it. And it's just like Rampart to call these clones by their numbers rather than their names. He doesn't even know Cody's name. It's just CC2224. And I can't wait to see the next episode. Hopefully this has been an enjoyable episode discussion. What's not to like about this episode? I really want to see more like this. Looking forward to whatever's next. I think the next episode's called Faster, but I'm not too sure. Anywho, Force be with you guys, and I will hear you in the next Bad Batch episode. 11 out of 10 for this one, by the way. Cannot wait to see what they're going to do next with these AWOL clones.